So tell me about what you do. So somebody comes to see you, and I encourage anybody who's looking to have someone like Brad who can coach you and take you through this. Tell me what you do and how you're helping them.
We help people operate at the next level by identifying what are the conditioned belief systems, patterns, emotional frequencies that you've been living in that are getting in the way of the next level of success that you really deserve. And we essentially recondition and focus on what do we need to believe to move in the right direction. I think you mentioned that subconscious is running the show, right? And that's very similar to what we teach as well, how our entire life is controlled by invisible forces, right? If you think about gravity, too much of it, you're crushed. Too little of it, you float away. You think about love. Wars have been started over love. It's an
Yeah.
invisible force. Beliefs are also an invisible force, and they tend to reinforce themselves. For example, if I have a belief that says money is hard to make, let's just use that as an example, right? That's something that I used to believe for a very long time. It's what I saw growing up consistently. It was kind of conditioned into me. That belief limits the potential that you into in creating money. And
Yep.
from a limited potential, you take a limited action. You don't take different actions. You take the same action or similar action what you've done. You also surround yourself with people that have a similar story so that it's called confirmation bias, so that you're right. So the results that you get is limited resources. You're not going to have much money coming into your account. And when you have limited money coming into your account, it reinforces the belief that money is hard to make. Versus if you have a belief that says success is my birthright, higher level of potential, different, more calculated risk actions, surround yourself with higher performers, you get better results. It reinforces the belief that success is my birthright. And so really what we do is after the foundation, which I believe that your program provides, which is the foundation of shifting all the things that have in the past that have basically prevented people from operating the next level, we then go into their world and say, okay, what we need to believe, value, what does our productivity need to look like, what does our energy and emotions need to be to live this life that we really want. I've noticed there's kind of three paradigms that people operate through. The first, I've nicknamed it the worried perfectionist. And this person operates from what I call a have, do, be psychology, right? They'll say, once my circumstances are different, once I have more money, once I have a better relationship, once I am at this certain weight, whatever it is, then I'll do. Then I'll invest in the coach. Then I'll start the business. Then I'll do whatever so I can be successful, happy, fulfilled, whatever it is. That's the
Yep.
first paradigm. The second one is what I call the stressed achiever. And this is where I used to operate. And that is they operate from a do have be psychology. I need to always be doing all the time, because if I do enough, then I'll have something. And once I have that thing, that makes me qualified to be successful, happy, fulfilled, whatever it is. If you notice those first two paradigms, the be is at the end. But high
Yep.
performers, they flip it and they operate from a be do have psychology. What do I want
Yep.
to have long term? What's the life I want to live? Okay. Great results. Fantastic. Let's say it's a 6 or 7 figure income. It's, the nice house and the beautiful relationships and amazing kids, all these healthy body, all these things. Awesome. What would I be doing if I already had that? I'd be taking a different action. Therefore, who do I need to be now? What are the beliefs, values, identities, emotions that I need to live in now so that I would automatically take that action as a byproduct and therefore create the results and have the goals and dreams that I'm looking for? And so what we do is we take a look at where people are at and we help them, call it, install the beliefs, values, identities, and emotional states that will yield the results that they're really after. If we don't, and this is where I see a lot of people struggle, I have a belief that says without a compelling vision of the future, you are forced to focus on the problems of the past and present. And so I think that a lot of people, they'll want and aspire to have a different life, but the different life that they aspire to go after is conditioned by their past. And so the goals that they say they want aren't actually what they want. It's just a little bit better than now. And so we help people identify what's a really compelling vision that you're after. What does your heart really want? So we get them into the right state to be able to identify that. Then we identify what are the beliefs, values, identities, emotions getting in the way of that. We shift that. And then we create an action plan to go actually after the most important things to yield those results. Most people, when they take action towards a goal, they're taking the safe actions that are not actually yielding results, and they mistake movement for achievement, right?
Yeah.
They'll organize their office instead of actually send the important email or prospecting message or whatever it is. So then we show how to actually create the actual results thereafter while also being fulfilled along the way. And so I like to view it as a good metaphor that I use in my work is kind of like a road trip. One of my favorite things to do is to go hiking. And I'm the crazy guy that climbs the mountains and does the Grand Canyon rim to rim in a day.
Go off.
I'm that guy. So I remember I was we were on a road trip with my buddies a couple of years back. Driving from the Grand Canyon, we had just backpacked it rim to rim in a single day. And we were now about to go to Yosemite and climb Half Dome at Yosemite and just doing crazy stuff. And I just love it. I love that stuff. And I was in the car with my buddy Jim, and he said something really interesting that gave me a download about our work. He said, Brad, these road trips are a lot like success. If you are not excited about where you're driving to, you're not going to want to drive across the country to get there. And I had this incredible download of what I call success GPS. And it's this metaphor of if you sit down and you're going on a road trip, Google Maps needs two things, right? You need your destination, you need to know where you are right now. So if I'm plotting a course from Western Illinois to Yosemite, but I am telling my GPS I'm in a worse off spot from beliefs and values and all those things that we had talked about, well, that's like telling GPS I'm back in Buffalo, New York. And so GPS will plot a course from Buffalo to Yosemite, and it will say turn left on Johnson Street, but there's no Johnson Street. So I'm just going to run around aimlessly and go back to everything that I've known before. Yeah. And so we need to make sure those are aligned. And if we don't, then the whole road trip is off. I think what a lot of people don't see is that going on this journey is the most beautiful part of success, right? Because there are times when it's fast, times when it's slow, times when it's raining, times when it's uphill, downhill, construction zones, and all of those things, how you show up to them will determine your experience of the road trip, including who's in the car with you. And so, I just paraphrased a 3-hour training into 3 minutes, but the whole point is that that's really what we help people with. We help people identify the GPS pin they actually want to go to, identify where they actually are, and we remove all the garbage that's getting in the way of them actually going there.
I love it. That's a great way. That's a great summary, because that's what people don't know. They just start walking, thinking they'll eventually get there, and they're walking in the wrong direction. And then they're exhausted when they find out they got to go back, right? Yeah. They got to retrace their steps. And that's why, again, this is why I love that we're teaming up, because a lot of people don't realize where those beliefs came. They came in from generally experiences earlier in their life that they've got to reset. And if they don't reset them, it's very difficult to override a belief.